A croque madame is the classic French croque monsieur sandwich, but with the addition of an egg on top. This is a version of that sandwich, only baked in the oven like a muffin and having some common ground with eggs Benedict. Whatever you want to call it, it's delicious and relatively easy to make. Plus, like most of my recipes, you can do most of the preparation ahead of time, then finish the final assembly very quickly, making it suitable for a high-volume restaurant or just so that you can serve guests when they arrive with only minimal kitchen time.
Begin by melting the butter with flour, about 18 grams of butter and 1 tablespoon of flour. We're going to make the bechamel first. And once the roux is formed, you're just looking for a blonde roux at this point. This is not going to take that long. You add the milk, whisk it in, followed by a pinch of nutmeg, a little salt, fresh ground white pepper, and begin whisking this together. You know, once it starts to thicken up, you're going to add lemon juice. How much lemon juice you add is a matter of personal taste. I like a lot. You might just add a tiny bit. You know, if you don't like sour things, Russians especially hate sour foods because it makes them think that it's spoiled. I enjoy sourness because I didn't grow up in that culture. But it's up to you. So what you want to do, if you don't add much lemon juice, you probably need to add a little bit more milk or cream if you really want it decadent. You want it to be somewhat thick like this now, and then I'm going to turn off the heat. It's going to thicken up a little bit more as it cools, and just let it stand like this while we make the rest of the dish. One other thing, if you've added a lot of lemon juice, or you decided you're going to add milk and you went too thin, you made it too thin, just cook a little bit more. It'll thicken up, it'll get thick again. Before you actually put this on, it needs to be fairly thick. It's not like the usual bechamel where right now it's kind of at the stage of a usual bechamel, but we need it thicker than the usual bechamel for this. I've cut 4 pieces of bread here, and I'm just going to trim the crusts off of them. Now, we take each of our slices of bread and flatten it out a bit with a rolling pin. And flatten it out. Take some melted butter, put on each side. And then into dish usually used for cupcakes. You're going to put it down in here, and you use 2 per cup. And you want a little bit of this sticking up out of the top because that's what's going to give it that crunchy edge. So you repeat. Now we have these lined. Now one of the tricks to this dish that a lot of people don't think about is that it needs to be pre-baked a little bit. So I'm going to, before I put the filling in now, I'm going to make sure that the edges have good butter on them. And I'm going to put this in the 180 degree preheated oven first before anything goes into it. Also going to need some Canadian bacon, or in Russia what's smoked pork neck, and it's not sliced when you get it. You have to slice it yourself. Not only that, but it has this nasty rind that runs around it, so you have to take a knife and carefully go around that and remove the skin. This is off to a good start for getting crunchy. Now I'm going to put that ham Canadian bacon into the bottom. If you're using a large egg like this, it's going to contain too much volume. So what we have to do is we have to drain out just a little bit of the white. Like that. See? Just that much. Now, come back over here and we put that in. I'll show you. This is how much extra white we got out of those 2 eggs. Now, we put our cooled bechamel over the top of this. Now notice how thick this is. It's thicker than mayonnaise. And by now it's cool, so it's not going to start cooking that egg right away. Okay, just going to clean up the edges a little bit here. Then, the last thing, we'll go back and hit it just a little bit more butter around the edge here. And then this goes into the oven. Here it is out of the oven. Now, of course, at first it's still hot and jiggly, so you have to leave it cool down a little bit before you take it out and plate it. And here we have the product. Nice creamy egg yolk in the inside. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.